massive fight would be Ilia versus Islam too. Well, the other thing is too is that Islam moves up, and obviously if Islam won the title, you know, you immediately have a super fight with him and Ilia. So
I'm for it. As much as Ilia and Islam think that's a mega fight, it's a big fight, but that's where it ends. It still needs a little time to become a mega fight. Those two think that they're huge stars. They're doing just fine. They're not there yet.
Dana White has claimed that the super fight between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev will eventually happen after Islam wins against Jack Della Maddalena. On the other hand, Chael Sonnen said he supports the fight between Ilia and Islam, but believes it is not yet a mega fight because they are not big stars yet. Daniel Cormier disagreed and said it is one of the biggest fights, comparing it to fights they tried to make before with other fighters. He also mentioned how important the fight is for the organization. Chael added that he has different information about a meeting in Dagestan, saying the meeting was about telling the fighters they must stay in the 170-pound division and not leave once they move there.
I'm for it. As much as Ilia and Islam think that's a mega fight, it's a big fight, but that's where it ends. It still needs a little time to become a mega fight. Those two think that they're huge stars. They're doing just fine. They're not there yet.
It would be a big fight, Chael. I gotta disagree with you. I think it's one of the biggest ones we have. It's Jones and Aspinall and Islam Ilia Topuria.
And you realize that we tried to make Jones and Aspinall, and you realize nobody ever tried to make Ilia and Islam.
We tried so much to make.
Oh, for goodness sake.
They tried so much. They went to Dagestan. Hunter went to Dagestan to try to make the fight. It's a very important fight for the organization.
That's the information that you have? I have information on that meeting to Dagestan was to say you're going to go to 170 and you're not coming back. The same talk they had with Ilia. You will not leave once you get here.
Okay. I will take your word.
Moreover, Bilal Muhammad criticized Ilia Topuria for wanting a lightweight title shot without proving himself against challenging fighters first. He said Ilia should compete against tough names like Arman Sarukian, Justin Gaethje, or Paddy Pimblett before earning a chance. Bilal warned that if Ilia skips important matches and then loses, it would lessen the importance of Islam Makhachev's win, similar to how some people dismissed Islam's victory over the smaller Alexander Volkanovski.
I think he needs to earn it. I think he needs to fight either Oliveira or Justin or even Paddy right now to show the fans that, all right, he is a lightweight. Because you're going to look at it and then you're going to see how much bigger Islam than is him. And then there are people are going to say the same thing that Islam, what happened when Islam beat Volkanovski. Oh, well, you just beat a 45er. That's all you did. He's smaller. Look at his title reign. It was a 45er, another 45er, but Volkanovski at the time was #1 pound for pound.
However, Dana White mentioned that a match between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev would be very exciting, but both fighters need more victories in their own divisions before it can happen. He said big fights usually occur when a fighter clearly dominates their weight class, like Islam and Volkanovski have done. Dana explained that if Islam moves up to welterweight and succeeds, a big fight with Ilia might be possible, but he prefers not to talk about fights that are only ideas for now.
Another massive fight would be Ilia versus Islam too.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, Salim is obsessed with that fight.
Oh, really?
He's obsessed with it. And I tell him, I'm like, but they both got to win more fights in their division first, right? That's kind of how you do it, right? When it's like they both run through their division, and then it's like you're in the position where it's like, I got to make this. That's what happened with Volk Islam, right?
Well, the other thing is too is that Islam moves up, and obviously if Islam won the title, you know, you immediately have a super fight with him and Ilia. So
could that be, if Islam gets one victory, could that potentially happen?
You have to see, it's one thing to sit around, this is what the media always tries to do, sit around and talk about these fights before they happen, or, you know, hypothetically speaking. I don't like hypothetical. These are options that we have if things play out that way, but you never know what's going to happen.
Dustin Poirier thinks the idea of Ilia Topuria moving up to 170 pounds to fight Islam Makhachev is unlikely. He said Islam is a big lightweight and Ilia seems smaller. Poirier acknowledged Ilia has the power, skills, and technique to knock out fighters from 145 to 170 pounds, but pointed out that Ilia hasn't faced someone with Islam's size and wrestling skills. He suggested Ilia should defend the lightweight title a few times before thinking about moving up.
I think him going to 170 to fight Islam, if Islam wins, is a stretch, you know. Islam's big, man. I've never seen Ilia in person, but he seems smaller. I know, obviously, he can knock anyone out. I do think if they fight, Ilia can knock anybody out from 45 to 170. He has the skills, the power, the technique, and but we've just never seen him in there with somebody that big and somebody with that caliber of wrestling. But I think he should defend the 55 title a few times before that's talked about. We'll see.
Max Holloway said if Ilia keeps winning and decides to move up in weight, it would be hard to stop him. He called the fight a huge super fight and praised Ilia's incredible power. Holloway said Ilia shouldn't be underestimated in any matchup. While Holloway wants a rematch, he respects Ilia's choice and won't try to stop him. He believes Ilia deserves the chance, and the fight would be exciting if it happens.
I mean, we see what happens, you know, if he does that on the run that he's doing. I mean, it's kind of hard to deny that, you know, and that would be a huge super fight. And with him having the punching power he has, is just unreal, bro. So you can't count him out at whatever, in anything. But I mean, who's to say? You know, that's not my job. I mean, if he goes up, he goes up. You know, he's his man. You know, do I want that fight back? 100%. But and I can't be like, hey, stay down here, blah, 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 and cry about it. So at the end of the day, if he does that, which he probably deserves it, not probably, he deserves it. So I think that would be a fun fight too. I think that it'd be super interesting if that fight ever was booked.
Arnold Allen shared his thoughts on why Islam Makhachev might be cautious about fighting Ilia Topuria. He believes Islam wants to defend his title against well-known opponents and may want to avoid another smaller fighter. Arnold also acknowledged that Ilia is a challenging competitor. He thinks a win over Ilia would boost Islam's reputation, but also mentioned Ilia has surprised fans before. Still, Arnold expects Islam to control most of the fight.
I understand why Islam wouldn't want it, right? He wants to fight legit contenders, and he's had like featherweights, ex-featherweights, late notice guys, replacements. He wants to sort of solidify his title reign, but probably is no bigger fight than Ilia, right? If he goes and batters Ilia, it looks pretty good.
Do you think he beats Ilia?
These guys, I don't know. To be honest, I've ruled him out a few. Oh, we're gonna get run. Hello.
About to get ran over, sorry.
Ah,
my bad.
I don't know. Every time I've ruled him out, he proves me wrong, so I'm not going to do it again. Yeah, I was going to say, I think Islam wins and he gets ironed out. So
Sean O'Malley shared his view on a potential fight between Ilia Topuria and Islam Makhachev, saying Islam would likely have the size advantage. He praised Ilia's abilities and considered the fight a future major event in MMA. O'Malley added that if both fighters keep winning, their matchup could become one of the sport's biggest.
You gotta tell me you wouldn't be interested in Ilia versus Islam. God, I mean, Islam is quite a bit bigger, but I feel like Ilia's skill level is just so high. Obviously, so is Islam. So that could be a potential super fight here in a few years if those guys keep doing their thing.
Demetrius Johnson analyzed the fight by focusing on Islam's left-handed stance. He expected Islam to use body kicks, movement, and tricky techniques to control distance. Johnson also pointed out that Islam might rely on his judo to take the fight to the ground and try to finish it. He explained that Ilia becomes most dangerous once he finds the right distance, and the key question is whether Islam can avoid getting too close or if he will step into Ilia's range.
Well, Islam's a southpaw, so he's gonna probably throw body kicks to keep his arms busy, keep the distance, move, feint, maybe use some judo to take him down and try to get him to the ground and try to submit him. But you know, once again, like I have to see. You know, I have to see what Islam does at JDM. Oh, the one thing that's the factor is that Ilia is always going to focus on getting to the right spot and fighting his opponents. When he gets there, he's going to unload. If Ilia can't get there, then he's going to figure out another way to get there. So the question is, how does everybody avoid that sweet spot against Ilia? That's the question, because Ilia is going to fight in a 25-minute fight. That's what it comes down to. And then you go from like, hey, how does Islam keep Ilia away from that spot, or does Islam meet him there? Right? There's so much, you know, that goes into it, and my brain is all over the place. So for me to give like a clear-cut answer, I just, you know, I'm running around in circles.
Benail Dariush gave his opinion that Islam still holds the edge because of his size and skill in mixing distance control with grappling. He believed Islam's use of kicks and wrestling could cause trouble for Ilia. Still, Dariush said he wouldn't be shocked if Ilia managed to knock Islam out, showing the fight could go either way.
I think it would still go the same. I think, you know, Islam has such a big size advantage, and if he, you know, distance kicks, takedown, rinse and repeat. If he continues to mix those things up, I think it would be a difficult fight for Ilia. But you know, from what I saw, it wouldn't be surprise me if he was able to put Makhachev's lights out too.
Georges St-Pierre praised both fighters for their top-level skills, saying Islam Makhachev's clean strikes usually knock opponents down, showing his dominance. He also admired Islam's constant pressure and excellent grappling. St-Pierre described both as well-rounded fighters, making their potential fight very exciting. In another interview, he noted that while Islam is champion because of his talent, no fighter is unbeatable, and mistakes can happen to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, that's another same thing. I mean, Topuria, when he touches, it falls, you know, and on the other side, Makhachev, he applies so much pressure. He's an elite grappler. I mean, they're both good in every areas. It's a great fight for the fans.
Skill set are amazing. I mean, he's champion for a reason, but nobody is invincible. Everybody can lose, everybody can make a mistake. And yeah, there's a lot of competition in this weight class.
Michael Chandler talked about the size difference, pointing out Islam as the bigger lightweight. He praised Islam's grappling, but said Ilia Topuria has the edge in striking. Chandler added that if Ilia keeps the fight standing, he has a chance, though Islam's experience and complete skills likely make him the favorite.
If Islam fights Ilia, I mean, I think there's definitely a size difference. I think Ilia is a lot smaller than Islam. Islam is a big lightweight, a tall lightweight, and he's good in every area. However, Ilia's definitely got the edge in the striking department, and Ilia is very, very, very patient. Now, if he's able to not get taken down and he's able to just patiently break down Islam with those big shots that he lands, the big punches that he lands, it's going to be a good night for Ilia. But I think if Islam gets his hands on him and gets him taken down, I mean, grappling with 145-pounders is a lot different than grappling with Islam, who is one of the best grapplers that we've seen in a very long time. He's strong. He's great at doing damage and getting good positions. I'd have to give the edge to Islam just by size, by strength of schedule thus far and defending the belt, but I wouldn't count Ilia out.
Aaron Pico shared his enthusiasm for the fight, calling it a thrilling matchup that would attract fans and the entire sport's attention. He said both fighters have unique styles, and Ilia has made a strong impression. Still, Pico believes Islam's experience and full skill set would probably be too much for Ilia to overcome.
That's what a champion essentially is supposed to look like. Make the calls, go out there, deliver on the calls, then all of a sudden vacates the title. I mean, how do you feel? Because you said earlier, like, you were looking at him and going, there's holes here.
I think it's good for the sport, to be honest with you. I mean, him and Islam, I mean, people really want to see that. Everybody has their own style, and it seems like his style is just doing what he did. Honestly, I believe Islam is just a little too much for him, but I'm also a fan, you know, so I would have loved to see that.
Cody Brundage highlighted Ilia Topuria's impressive winning streak, including knockouts of top fighters like Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski. He said if Ilia beats Islam, it would place him among the greatest fighters ever, possibly in the top 3 in MMA history.
It's a crazy fight. You know, we talked about that. You know, Yusuf obviously at 145, he's on a tear. He's making his come up, and he wants that Ilia fight so bad. They already fought once, but we were talking about if Ilia goes in and knocks out Islam Makhachev, like, how high do we put him on the GOAT list? Right? Like, to me, I'm like, John Jones is #1 no matter what. I don't think anybody could surpass John Jones for a long time. Obviously, it would take a ton, but everyone in my circle at least is like, man, if he goes and knocks out Islam after knocking out Holloway, after knocking out Volk, he's got to be up there, like, top 3.
Arman Sarukian said that Ilia Topuria needs to fight strong wrestlers like himself to show he is at the same level as Islam Makhachev. He argued that Ilia's previous opponents were not at their best and said a younger version of Volkanovski would have easily defeated him.
If he beat me, he's gonna be on the same level as Islam. He gotta beat like someone like me, you know, who can wrestle. Yeah. He just had easy fights on his career, you know. He beat legit fighters, but not on their prime. If he met Volkanovski 4 years ago, Volkanovski just eat him.
Jan Błaszkiewicz said the fight would be exciting to watch, but believes Islam is currently in his prime and nearly unbeatable. He also expects Islam to stay dominant for several more years.
Right, it's gonna be a very good fight for watch. So, but I think Islam is like, you know, right now he got his, you know, prime time, and nobody will stop him. Couple more years, I think so.
Mateusz Gamrot found the fight interesting, but doubted Ilia Topuria's chances because of the size gap. He said fighting someone like Islam Makhachev needs equal strength and physical power, which Topuria might lack. Gamrot believes Islam's complete dominance could overwhelm the smaller challenger.
For me, interesting fight, but but I don't know. Topuria is small guy. Islam is really big guy, and I don't think that Topuria has changed against him. Like if you wanna fight with Islam, you have to be like big guy, like similar like him, because he's good everywhere. But if your body is smaller than him, so you don't have change for sure.
Jorge Masvidal expressed strong faith in Ilia's grappling skills, praising his aggressive approach and solid takedown defense. Masvidal said any opponent's mistake could quickly be turned against them, with Ilia gaining control fast.
I'd bet the house on Ilia. His grappling, offensively, it's very good. If like you shooting on this guy's legs, and you make a mistake and you're the one going for the takedown, he has a very good chance that he might put you out.
Bo Nickal sees Islam Makhachev as the best pound-for-pound fighter now, but considers Ilia Topuria a serious threat. He mentioned Volkanovski's wrestling success in their first fight, suggesting Topuria might have what it takes to match Islam's grappling and challenge his overall game.
I think he's the pound-for-pound #1 right now, and I think he can win. And what makes me think that Ilia will do really well against Islam is that Volk's first fight with Islam, I'm like, man, Ilia's wrestling is way better than Volk's. And obviously, you could see how the striking went.
Jamahal Hill strongly believes in Ilia's chances, highlighting his speed, creative striking, and knockout power. Hill said if Ilia lands clean shots, he can finish anyone, even heavier fighters.
I believe he's capable of beating Islam. Just what I've seen and personally too, just like hand speed, and the tricks and the way he plays with his striking game. I believe he's definitely capable of catching Islam. And if he catches anybody, I believe he can knock them out. I believe his power might even carry. Not saying that his size and things like that, he can move up to like those higher weight classes, but if he catches it, the way he hits it, if somebody even in bigger weight classes get like that, he can put them on wobble shit.
Colby Covington thinks Ilia has the tools to upset Islam. He referenced Islam's close fight with Volkanovski, where many thought Volkanovski won, showing Islam is not unbeatable. Covington also said Islam didn't look dominant against Dustin Poirier, making this matchup very interesting. He added the key question is whether Islam can keep Ilia on the ground, or if Ilia can avoid takedowns and keep the fight standing. Covington is curious how Ilia will handle Islam's wrestling pressure since he has been taken down before.
I don't know. I think Topuria might upset him. I think he has the ability to upset him. That first Makhachev-Volkanovski fight was really close. A lot of people thought that Volkanovski won that fight. So, I think the blueprint is out there for Makhachev. And I didn't think he looked that good in the last fight versus Dustin. I mean, he looked beatable. He didn't look like invincible. So, I think that'll be an interesting fight. Who do you got in that one? I think that'll be the key to the fight. Can Makhachev get him to the ground, or is Topuria slippery enough to get away? Because he did get taken down in a couple of his fights. So
Javier Mendez discussed how a fight between Islam Makhachev and Justin Gaethje would be different because Islam has a more complete skill set, especially in striking. Mendez highlighted Islam's ability to combine striking with submissions, making him a versatile fighter. He also noted Islam can trade punches when needed, but has the skill to take opponents down, showing his adaptability in the cage. Mendez pointed out that wrestling in MMA is unique, which makes Islam an even more dangerous challenge for Gaethje.
It definitely, in my opinion, would play out differently because they're not the same fighter. They're not the same fighter. Islam is more well-rounded than Khabib ever was, So Islam is at the point where he's pound for pound #1 because he's well-rounded in all the areas. Khabib was not as well-rounded as Islam is in the striking. His attributes was the ground and the submission and how he can smother you and just make you feel like you're trapped and you can never get out. Islam doesn't have that type of game. He's got a different type of game. His game is incredible. It's submission level based more than anything. And as you've seen it with all his submissions, it's different. It's different. They're not the same fight at all. It's an entirely different fight. In Islam, he can do it all. He can stand with him. He can take him down. He can do anything, and before anybody starts thinking about, well, he's the Division I wrestler, this and that, but hey, he was a Division I wrestler that was wrestling with Jordan Burroughs, and that didn't help him with Khabib. So trust me, when you're talking MMA, there's a difference between just wrestling, in MMA wrestling. Khabib was the master, second to none in MMA wrestling. And Islam, I'm going to say, is a close second. But they're different. They're different, but he's a close second when it comes to MMA wrestling.
Joe Rogan supports Ilia Topuria getting a shot at the lightweight title, saying Ilia has clearly earned it. He pointed to Topuria's knockout wins over top fighters like Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski as proof that he deserves the chance. Rogan believes Ilia is ready to compete in the 155-pound division.
Because you have a world champion versus a world champion. Like, if anybody deserves a fight for the world title in the next weight class, it's you. It's simple. It's simple. Yeah. You knocked out Max Holloway. I mean, it's simple. You knocked out Alexander Volkanovski, one of the greatest of all time. It's simple. That's a no-brainer. That's the fight. You know, he doesn't want to fight 45 anymore. He wants to fight 55. World title shot.
Eddie Cha praised Ilia's skills, including his sharp striking, good distance control, and solid grappling shown during his time in Brave. While impressed by Ilia's quick progress, Cha is concerned about the size difference and how Ilia will manage grappling against a bigger opponent. Overall, Cha favors Islam Makhachev in the fight.
Yeah, people probably think I'm crazy, but I think Ilia can get it done.
Okay.
He's one of my favorite guys to watch right now. His distance game. I mean, if you've seen him when he was like 6 or 7-0 at Brave before the UFC, he would just take guys down and just grapple. You know, I think that was his biggest strength. That's why I'm so impressed with that guy, because for him to be as good in striking in a short amount of time, understanding the game and how he runs his offense, it's phenomenal. So the size factor is my biggest concern, and I think the grappling, we'll see what happens, but I like Ilia on that one.
That's it for today's video, so what are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.